There is a moment, and every person listening to this has lived it, where you are lying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, and you know exactly what you need to do. You know the work that needs to happen. You know the change that needs to be made. You know the version of yourself that is possible, and you do nothing, not because you are lazy, not because you do not care, but because something inside you, something quiet and powerful and deeply familiar, whispers, "Tomorrow, tomorrow you will start. Tomorrow the timing will be better. Tomorrow you will feel more ready." And you believe it. Every single time you believe it. And then tomorrow arrives, and that same voice is waiting for you again. I need you to understand something before we go any further. That voice is not your friend. That voice is the reason you are not where you want to be. And today, right now, we are going to talk about what it actually takes to silence it forever. Let us start with a truth that most people are never told. Science has confirmed what high performers have always known through lived experience. Your brain, the most sophisticated organ in the known universe, is not naturally wired for your success. It is wired for your survival. And in the modern world, survival and success are two completely different things. Your brain has a system called the limbic system, whose entire job is to protect you from discomfort, from pain, from effort, from anything that feels uncertain or difficult. And every single time you sit down to do the hard work, to build something real, to push past where you have been before, that system activates. It floods your body with resistance, with the urge to stop, with the desire to find something easier and safer and more immediately comfortable. This is not a character flaw. This is biology. This is evolution doing exactly what it was designed to do. But here is where it gets interesting. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not the people who somehow escaped this system. They are the people who learned, deliberately, consistently, through enormous repetition, how to override it. They are the people who built something in the part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, the seat of discipline, of long-term thinking, of the ability to choose future reward over present comfort. And every single time they made that choice, to act despite resistance, to move despite discomfort, to begin despite the fear, they strengthened that part of their brain. They literally rewired themselves, thought by thought, decision by decision, day by day. This means something extraordinary. It means that discipline is not a personality trait. It is not something you either have or you do not. It is a skill. It is a muscle, and it is built the same way every muscle in the human body is built, through resistance, through repetition, through showing up when every part of you wants to stop. Now, I want you to think about your life with complete honesty, not the life you present to the world, not the version of yourself you perform for other people, the real one, the one only you know. How many mornings have you woken up with genuine intention? Today, I will be different. Today I will work. Today I will begin. And by afternoon, that intention has dissolved into distraction, into delay, into the same comfortable patterns you have been running for years. How many goals have lived in your head for so long that they have started to feel like fantasies rather than plans? How many versions of yourself have you promised yourself you would become and quietly abandoned before they ever had the chance to form? I am not asking these questions to make you feel small. I am asking them because the answer, if you are honest, reveals something important. The problem was never the goal. The problem was never the plan. The problem was never the circumstances. The problem has always been the gap between knowing and doing, between intention and action, between the person you want to be and the person you choose to be in the small moments when no one is watching. That gap has a name. It is called mental weakness, and it is built, not born. Every time you have surrendered to the easier path, you strengthened it. Every time you chose the distraction over the discipline, you made the next surrender more likely. Every time you allowed the excuse to win, you trained your mind to manufacture better excuses the next time. And slowly, not dramatically, not suddenly, but slowly, the life you were capable of living got buried under the weight of 10,000 small surrenders. Here is something nobody in the world of motivation wants to tell you because it is not comfortable to hear. Motivation is not the answer. Think about every time you felt motivated, truly fired up, absolutely certain that this time would be different, and think about how long that feeling lasted. A day, maybe two, maybe a week at most. And then life arrived, with its ordinary moments and its unremarkable Tuesdays, and its complete absence of cinematic inspiration, and the feeling dissolved, and you were left with nothing but yourself and the choice in front of you. Motivation is an emotion. Emotions are temporary. Discipline is a decision. And decisions are permanent. The highest performers on earth, the people who build things that last, who change fields that resist change, who create results that most people only dream about, they do not wait to feel motivated. They have built something far more reliable. They have built a mind that moves without permission from their feelings. A mind that says today, regardless of what yesterday looked like. A mind that says begin regardless of whether the conditions feel right. A mind that has been trained through thousands of small repeated choices to choose the future over the present every single time. Let me tell you something about comfort that will change the way you see your life. Comfort is not the absence of pain. Comfort is the presence of the familiar. And the familiar, chosen repeatedly, becomes a cage so perfectly fitted to your shape that most people never realize they are inside one. Every human being on this planet has a version of themselves that is possible, a version built through difficulty and discipline and genuine effort. A version that looks back on the life they lived and feels the quiet, unshakable satisfaction of someone who did not waste what they were given. And there is another version, the comfortable version, the version that made all the sensible choices, that rested when it was reasonable to rest, that waited for the perfect moment that never came, that protected itself so completely from discomfort that it also protected itself from everything that matters. And here is the cruelty of comfort. It never announces itself as the enemy of your potential. It never arrives wearing a warning sign. It arrives as the warm blanket on a cold morning, as the easier path that makes completely rational sense in the moment, as the voice that says you have worked hard enough today, you deserve this rest, and you do. You do deserve rest, but not the rest that comes from running from the work, only the rest that comes from having done it. Now, I want to talk about something that will feel like a knife when you hear it, because it is true and it is about you. 93% of people who set goals in January abandon them by February, not because they were not serious, not because the goals were wrong, because they were waiting for the feeling to carry them. Because they had not yet learned the most important truth about achievement. The feeling follows the action. It never precedes it. You do not wait until you feel confident and then act. You act badly, imperfectly, with shaking hands and genuine uncertainty, and confidence is built from the evidence of what you have done. You do not wait until you feel disciplined and then begin. You begin before you are ready, before the timing is right, before you know how it will turn out, and discipline is built from the pattern of showing up. You do not wait until you feel like a person who has their life together and then make better decisions. You make better decisions, 1, then 2, then 10, then 100, and slowly you become the person whose life reflects those choices. The action always comes first, always. And every single day that you wait for the feeling to arrive before you begin is a day you spend training your mind that feelings are in charge. And a mind that is governed by feelings will always find a reason to stay comfortable. There is a question I want you to sit with, not answer immediately. Sit with. If the version of yourself you want to become, the disciplined, focused, consistent, capable version, could look back at this exact moment in your life, what would they think? Not what would they say to encourage you. What would they actually think? Would they be proud of what they see? Would they recognize the effort, or would they see someone who knew, who genuinely, clearly, completely knew what they needed to do and kept finding reasons not to do it? Because that version of you exists. That version is not some distant fantasy. That version is built one decision at a time, starting from wherever you currently are. And every single day that passes is either a day where you moved closer to that version or a day where you moved further away. There is no standing still. There is no neutral. Life moves in one direction or the other, regardless of what you choose, and the only question is whether your choices are directing the movement or simply reacting to it. Here is what it actually looks like to train your mind. It does not look like a dramatic transformation. It does not look like a single moment of inspiration that changes everything. It looks like waking up on an unremarkable morning when the alarm goes off and nothing feels special or cinematic, and still choosing to begin. It looks like sitting down to do the work when every reasonable part of you is building a case for why today is an exception. It looks like turning off the thing that makes the avoidance feel comfortable. The scroll, the show, the conversation that does not serve you, and returning to the thing that matters. It looks like doing this once, and then tomorrow, doing it again, and the day after, doing it again. Not dramatically, not perfectly, not with the kind of visible, measurable, immediately rewarding progress that makes the effort feel worth it, just again, and again, and again. Because every neuroscientist who has ever studied the human brain will tell you the same thing. The brain changes through repetition. Neural pathways strengthen when they are used and weaken when they are abandoned. Every choice you make is casting a vote for the kind of mind you want to have, and votes accumulate. One vote does not change an election, but 1,000 votes cast consistently in the same direction that changes everything. Now, let me talk about focus, because focus is not what most people think it is. Focus is not the ability to concentrate intensely for a brief period. Focus is the ability to return again and again and again to what matters, even when everything in your environment is designed to pull you away from it. Your phone pings, your mind wanders, the world offers you 1,000 more immediately interesting things than the work in front of you. And focus is the practice of noticing when you have drifted, without judgment, without drama, and returning to the screen, returning to the page, returning to the work, not once, not twice, as many times as it takes. Because the quality of your life is not determined by how interesting you find the work at the beginning. It is determined by how faithfully you return to it after every distraction, every setback, every moment of doubt. The people who build remarkable things are not the people who never get distracted. They are the people who get distracted fewer times than everyone else, or who return faster than everyone else. That is the entire game, and it is a game you can win, not through willpower, not through some extraordinary reserves of discipline that other people have and you lack, through practice, through the daily, unremarkable, essential act of returning. I want to leave you with this. You have been waiting for something. Maybe you call it the right moment. Maybe you call it readiness. Maybe you call it inspiration. Maybe you call it the version of your life where the circumstances align in a way that makes the work feel easier, the path feel clearer, the sacrifice feel smaller. That moment is not coming, not because life is unfair, not because you are unlucky, because the feeling of readiness is a reward. It is not a prerequisite. It is what you feel on the other side of the action, not the other side of the waiting. The people who changed their lives, who built the thing, who became the version, who created the result, did not begin when they were ready. They began when they were not. When the conditions were imperfect and the outcome was uncertain, and the resistance was real, and the voice saying tomorrow was louder than the voice saying now. They began anyway. And in the beginning, that single act of beginning despite everything that argued against it, the entire trajectory of their life changed, not immediately, not dramatically, but permanently. Today is not a special day. There is nothing remarkable about this moment except one thing. You are here. You are listening. You know clearly, completely, undeniably what you need to do. And the only question that matters now is the question that has always mattered. The same question that will matter tomorrow morning when the alarm goes off, and next week when the work gets hard, and next month when the progress feels invisible, and next year when you look back at this moment and understand what it cost you or what it built for you. Will you choose the voice that says begin or the voice that says tomorrow? Because that choice, made now and again tomorrow and again every single day after that, that choice is your life. That choice is your mind. That choice is everything. Begin.